He's given it absolutely everything. Is it hammer time here at the Red Bull Ring? He was very close to the line on the exit. He is just above Kimi Antonelli at the line. 6/1000ths of a second puts Lewis Hamilton on provisional pole position. But his teammate Charles Leclerc is going faster as he now makes his way towards the line. Ferrari coming good, right at the death here. Leclerc's on pole, provisionally for a second time here in Austria. Lando Norris, last year's pole sitter, only P6. Max Verstappen fastest overall in the middle sector. George Russell will be the last across the line as Piastri only makes it P7. There is still time to go, but that is a big moment for Max Verstappen, and he's out and into the barriers as he was pushing for pole. He lost it at turn 9. That is going to cost George Russell too, because there's yellow flags down there, and it's going to cost Kimi Antonelli, and it's going to give Ferrari a 1-2 for Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. It could have been Max Verstappen's day. Verstappen's crash ruined it for Mercedes as George Russell does cross the line and takes pole by just over 2/10 of a second. Now, did George Russell lift off? Did George Russell go through double waved yellows? If it was double waved yellows, his lap doesn't count. If he lifted off and it was single waved yellows, that will be Russell on pole. Now we wait to see on this one because we weren't looking too much at the marshals, Karun Chandok.
Yeah, I'm looking here at race control. For me, that was a double wave yellow there. So I don't think that time is going to hold for George Russell.
It shouldn't. Double yellows confirm on our timing screen there. Double waved yellows, lap time shouldn't count.
Yeah, I've just seen the onboard, and it's quite clear there's a panel on the left-hand side. So let's first look at this replay for Verstappen. We're looking from high up in the helicopter there. He was very close to Leclerc's time in the second sector, then just lost the back end. Watch this, as he goes over the crest, turns in, and just very early on, before the apex, the rear of the car already started to rotate and come round on him. He came in. Bernie said, didn't she, in the earlier run, turn 9, that's where he was down on the benchmark of Kimi Antonelli, and that's where he had to find time. That's where he had to look for extra performance. He had to go. You can't fault him for trying, but just a little bit too much there, and the rear of the car snapped away from him. But for me, having seen the onboard, I think Russell's time will not stand. So here we go. Here is the onboard. Now look to the left-hand side. There's the panel. It's quite clearly flashing there.
Yeah. So there's Max Verstappen into the barriers. He clearly lifts off George Russell, but it's double waved yellows as opposed to single waved yellows.
Yeah.
And there is a difference in terms of your lap time and whether it counts or not.
Exactly. So I think we should clarify, when it's a double yellow, the team can't just go and show data saying, look, compared to the previous lap, he slowed down in this corner, etc. It's you must abort, and quite clear, we have a timing page here, a messaging page, which is what the teams get, and it does say double yellow here.
Bernie Collins, down to you on the pit wall.
Yeah, just going to come in quickly. So I did see the onboard there, and I can understand what Karun and you were saying, but when I look in the data, the telemetry, I can rewind to the point that the double waved yellow is thrown on data, and that is after Russell has gone through that sector. So although it's shown on the marshal post, it's not shown on data. It won't be shown on Russell's dash, and it won't have been told by the team when they board the lap, because if a driver in data goes through double waved yellows, it's automatically deleted. So in data land, which is obviously not where we all live, Russell did not go through a double waved yellow, but in real life land, he did. And I think they will go with what the marshal post is showing, physically showing at the point that Russell goes through.
Thanks ever so much, Bernie. So George Russell is smiling and accepting the congratulations from his Mercedes team. He, at the moment, has the fastest time in Q3. Charles Leclerc misses out by a couple of tenths. It was a storming lap from George Russell, and we haven't really had time to acknowledge that too much, because he found a huge amount of pace right at the end and should be rightly pleased with his efforts there. He did lift, but the question is, under a double waved yellow, was it a double waved yellow as George Russell went through? Because under a double waved yellow, your lap time is deleted, and it's there for safety purposes. It's like a red flag.
Yeah, and just to underline your point, Roffley, in the first two sectors, he was 0.09 ahead of Antonelli. Antonelli aborted. We should say Antonelli aborted in the final sector with the yellow and did a 22 seconds, so he backed off 2 seconds in the final sector there. He chose to abort at the yellow, and Russell chose to carry on. And Antonelli was ahead of Russell on the track. He got the yellow even before. So even though we just heard from Bernie on the data didn't show up, clearly Antonelli saw it, backed out of it, or the team told him. Russell pushed on.
I would assume that is exactly what Charles Leclerc and George Russell are talking about. Max Verstappen is fine, and he's made his way back into the pit lane, and a real shame for him. He was pushing at that moment that he needed to pick up the pace against the Mercedes of Kimi Antonelli. Lewis Hamilton third at the moment, Antonelli fourth, fifth for Verstappen, Norris, Piastri sixth, seventh, really disappointing at the end for McLaren. Hajar, Lawson, Lindblad completing the top 10. Fred Vasseur is thinking to himself, is that going to be for Ferrari a 255th pole, or is it going to be a 151st for Mercedes? Giancarlo Fisichella is with the top three.
Fantastic job. It was a great lap. It's still under investigation because of the yellow flag. How do you feel?
I feel incredible. It was such an amazing lap. I saw the yellow. I had a big lift into the corner. I was 5 tenths up, and I came out the last corner 2.5 tenths up. So, you know, it was a single yellow as well, not a double. So, should be okay. It was a tough day, but it was so special to get that lap, and everything felt so sweet. So, really proud of the job we all did.
Great job.
Thank you.
Charles? So let us know how was your lap, and especially in the last few Grand Prix, Ferrari made a huge step forward on the development. Are you happy with your lap and your position?
Yeah, I'm relatively happy about today. Of course, the last few weekends have been quite tough, so I just wanted to have a clean weekend, and most of all a clean qualifying to start well for tomorrow. So yeah, to start second is a good place to start on. The team have been pushing massively in order to bring upgrades in Barcelona and again this weekend, and that pays off. If I'm completely honest, I didn't think we'll be starting on the front row until qualifying, really. So it's a good surprise, yeah, that we are so far up.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lewis, you probably lost a good chance to improve your lap time because the first push out you brake maybe too late. You think it was possible to be better than third?
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you everyone for the good energy. No, I think it's, I mean, to have the two Ferraris in second and third, I think it's fantastic, and it's just a reflection of the amazing work that everyone's doing back at the factory, because they really are continuing to push. We bought small bits here. Obviously, they worked hard to upgrade our engine for this track. So I'm just really proud of everybody, because you could just see how hard everyone's working, and it's really starting to pay off. I think my Q3, the weekend had been looking good in Q3 1-1. I had my mistake and didn't get the first lap. So then, yeah, that always affects the second lap. But nonetheless, you know, even just to be still that close, given that I didn't get the first lap, I'm really happy for that. Great, good job.
Cheers. George, back to you. It's going to be very hot. How do you manage for tomorrow, for the race?
Yeah, it's going to be very hot. You know, the Ferraris are looking incredibly fast. You know, in the corners, they're the fastest team at the moment. They're maybe a bit more draggy than us, which may help us to defend. I just spoke with Toto. He just said everything was fine with the yellow flag, so that is good news. 100-meter lift before the corner, so glad to hear that. And yeah, tomorrow is going to be a big fight. Obviously, Kimi in P4 is going to be super fast as well. We know how strong he's been, and Lando and the McLarens. So it's game on from everyone.
It's going to be an interesting race to follow. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.